Wait. Hold on here. Is this the barbershop? Is this the barbershop?
Yes, it is.
It's the barbershop.
Yes.
Wait, I mean, we can't talk street in the barbershop. Then where can we talk street? We can't talk street nowhere else. You know, this ain't nothing but healthy conversation. That's all.
You gotta tell who's the park down.
It ain't nobody exempt in the barbershop. You know that. Ain't nobody exempt. You can talk about whoever and whatever, whenever you want to in the barbershop.
Why you gotta
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Hi, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Coach Ferg, man. Just sitting here chilling out at the barbershop with my man BMU on this Friday. I guess it's the first Friday of August. Yeah, salute to all the, I guess, the Leos that are out there, man, figuring it out. My wife's birthday is tomorrow, so it's going to definitely be a Leo celebration, man. Salute everybody, man. So let me check the temperature a little bit, as they say, man. Salute to A-Dub, man. Thank you, brother, for coming by, man. Anybody else to stop by, man? Listen, just by the title, man, you know I will have something to say. You know, old knowledge is dead. Okay. We no longer need the OGs. Yeah, man. I hope a woman thought of that. I wouldn't think a man would think of that. But if a man has, we're going to talk about it. What's up, RBN, my brother through the fire podcast. Salute to you, brother. But yeah, salute, man. Because I got some news for y'all. If you 40 and over, you old too. So you better hope them young folk are listening to what you got. Or you better get in line with them. So yeah, salute, man. We're going to get it started. What's up, Lost in Translation? Salute to you, brothers. Go ahead and subscribe to these brothers, man. Lost in Translation podcast, my brother Through the Fire podcast, man. A-Dub, everybody, BMU. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share the live streams. Man, listen, y'all hanging out with me today, man. So I'm going to try to be good, but I make no promises because I'm old. And, you know, old people can say what they want and don't get no repercussions. So sit back, relax, and you might gain a little bit or you may not. But believe me, y'all watching old heads, the youngins are watching y'all. So hopefully y'all putting a good example out there for them to follow. But as we see it, it's very grim. It's very gray for the young people behind y'all. So again, man, salute to Champ Talk Radio, man. Always a good brother, man. Solid brother. Check him out. He do great reactions. And believe me, man, he's a solid dude, man. Yeah, hang out with me as long as you can, man. Yeah, 40s, man. Y'all one push-up away, man, from throwing your back out. You know, you one flight of stairs from pulling your hamstring. So what we talking about? You know, I got that old man strength. I get one of y'all in a headlock today, put that forearm around you. You might not make it out. And if you over 40 and you ain't got no calf muscles, yeah, you might have problems out there. But salute to everybody, man. Just stopping by, man. For sure, man. Bro, if you're at work, on your way home, listen, man, be safe, man. Be safe. If you're at work, just focus on getting the job done, man, because this is Friday. It's the barbershop. I shaved myself yesterday. You know, I do all this. You know, I use a straight razor for all that. So I got on my do-rag in case my waves want to come back. You know, I pulled up my 17-year-old self just in case you want to, you know what your competition would have been like. But here I am. I'm old, man. So there it is, man. You know, salute, man. BMU's in the background. Anybody want to pull up, man, the link is in the chat, man. Again, man, I don't know how I'm going to act today. You know, blame it on me being old, man, because, you know, so just like grandma, I'm going to say what the hell I want and won't nobody do nothing about it. But, again, hopefully you can gain a little bit and it'll all be good. What's up, Mrs. Joy is real. Salute to you. Now, that's a sister. Y'all go subscribe to our channel, man. Speaking real good information out there, man. She real solid, man. Married, you know what I'm saying? She speaks her truth, man. So, yeah. Salute to everybody, man. What we got, BMU? What we got? What's going on? Old knowledge is dead. We no longer need the OGs. Damn. That's a hell of a topic, don't y'all think? Because everybody over 40, remember, y'all old. So if ain't nobody gonna listen to you, I don't know what to tell you. The little nugs ain't listening to the 40s and unders. So what y'all gonna do, man? What y'all gonna do? Fight it out for the next 25, 30 years? Yeah, they trying to, Lost. They can't run us off, man. They ain't got no stamina. They ain't got no calf muscles to run us off. They always in their feelings, their emotions. You know, they didn't get taught anything. It's somebody else's fault. So here we are in the modern era. Okay. Modern, that means you have to update your software. You can keep the whole package, but you have to update your software. And yeah, and they fifis, brother, and they fifis. That's how they say it. They got so sensitive about it, they can't even say feelings. They call it fifis. That's wild. But yeah, so regardless as you go through life, you have to update your software. I would say for brothers, every 4 years. Something that I learned in my early 30s, man. A brother needs to update his software every 4 years in order to, I guess, elevate to the space in life where he wants to be, especially when he gets into his 40s. You know, we all sort of wake up at age 40. You know, we all sort of wake up. Everybody's smarter, stronger. No, I ain't gonna say stronger, but everybody's smarter. Everybody makes $100,000. I haven't met one person on YouTube yet that makes $100,000. I haven't met it. It's wild, but we got to get up and go to work at 7:30 in the morning. So, yeah, but we'll figure it out. What's up, Mix Lost the Smile? You make me smile with your locks. I like locks, man. I love locks, man. My wife has sister locks, man. Sometimes, man, they grow too fast. They be all the way down past the cheeks. And then she'll cut off 5 or 6 inches. A year later, they right back to where they started. So, yeah, salute to the natural hair, man. You know, but yeah, believe it or not, 17-year-old me had hair. You see that nice little mustache too? Yeah, catch up. The only way I had that because I had big calf muscles. You know, if you ain't had shoulders, you ain't had no calf muscles or shoulders, you might not have got your mustache because your testosterone ain't really got to where you thought it should be. But salute, man. I'm just talking mess, man, to somebody who's brave enough to join in later. Hey, I'll be up here for as long as, you know, I can. And when we drop these videos, we're gonna comment on the videos. Yeah. And let me say this. I'm Generation X. So I come out of high school in 86. So where I grew up at is just by the Ohio River. And I remember when gangs were trying to come through the city and start taking over neighborhoods. The OGs, they ran them out. And I ain't talking about old OGs. I'm talking about them 30s and late 20s and early 40s. They ran that gang stuff out of her. They ran that away. There wasn't none of that. I remember that event when they came strolling through. It was the same type of concept in I guess in early gang culture when one guy, he created two different gang groups. And it was fine when they stayed in their little neighborhood, but eventually they tried to branch off and they squashed that real quick. The dude that was the leader, haven't really seen or heard from him for a while. I think he sort of got away from it. And it just didn't get a chance to develop. So on Sundays, we used to go to the park. And man, the park used to be filled with maybe 10,000 Black folk just hanging out, relaxing, cruising down the strip. You know what I'm saying? At 2 miles an hour, everybody bumping their sounds, the girls, wasn't nobody, I guess, disrespectfully dressed. Everybody was sort of modestly dressed, but everybody was vibing. We would communicate. And the guys, we sit over and do our thing. Girl walk by, same as it is today. Just different players, same old game. If you saw a girl that caught your eye and you caught her eye, then hey, she might approach you or you might have to approach her. She might even do one of these little nods. And nobody made a big scene of it. And you get over her, your breath stinking, you know what I'm saying? Your eyes lazy. It can be anything that can turn somebody out. You get over her, her breath stink. You realize she wears a size 12 shoe, like, hold up. It could be anything, man. A pimp on the nose that, could really just turn you off, man. But yeah, that's just part of the game, man. Y'all ain't doing nothing new out here. Well, some things y'all doing new. Yeah, some things y'all doing new because now y'all hanging around the girls too much. Y'all taking on their personalities and you crying about it when they say, that you're nothing. It's always been out. Believe it or not, I haven't always been attracted to everybody. No, some women call me ugly too. I couldn't believe it. It might have hurt my little ego, but that's just part of it. That's just part of it. I guess it was easy for me growing up with 6 women in the house and my father being the craziest of all the people I knew at the time. So he didn't care. My mother didn't care. She gave me plenty of game. Plus I used to watch my sisters. My older sisters, they were a good example. My younger sisters, I stayed away from any female that acted like them. Like, no. But my older sisters, I saw dudes coming over with the flowers and keep sweating and, trying to court, sitting out on the porch. When nobody coming up in the house, it was a no-go. I started dating in I guess middle school. Yeah, I remember my first girlfriend. I say this story is crazy. My first girlfriend, I was playing basketball. I played 2 sports, just so you know. And it was a female that liked me. One of the prettiest girls in the school. Light skin, had that good, thick, long hair. Back then, used to wear those grown folk hairstyles where it was sort of curled up and came down. Like, I don't know what it was called, but yeah. And I will never forget, I had a female cousin, who was at the school also, and they were good friends. And she told my cousin that she liked me. And my cousin told me, I'm like, oh, cool, let's talk. And so we started talking. I guess we was going together. And then after about a week, I was new to it. I wasn't caught up in women like that because I had sisters. Plus, I was playing football too. So I wasn't really, oh man, I got to get a girlfriend. No, we talked for a couple of days, a week. And I remember it was a week and 2 days. I was on the basketball team. It was just before practice. I used to always get in so I can shoot around. Because believe me, your boy, when you see me do that, my jumper was Steph Curry, even in middle school. Yes, you can go see the video. You got to go to the main library where I live. So it's all in the library. But I never forget, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I told her I didn't want to go with her no more or be a boyfriend. I don't know what I said, but I remember being in the gym shooting, and somebody came in there like, no girl crying. I'm like, what you mean crying? I'm like, ain't nobody crying. What you talking about? I go out there, this girl is boo-hooing. I'm like, girl, stop crying. What are you doing? Don't be crying over me. I'm 13 years old. What are you doing? Go home. I told her to go home. And she cried. I'm like, you got to go home. I got to go practice. And was it wrong? I don't know. Hell, I was middle school. I wasn't all in nobody's feelings. It was new to me. So I go on back in the gym, and I don't know what she did. I think she stayed after practice or whatever. And I had to go catch the bus because, back then you were bused to schools outside your neighborhood. So I had to make this bus at like 6 o'clock. So I don't know what she talking about. And I didn't really get a chance to talk to her after that. Okay, cool. So next go. About a week later, she going with somebody else, another guy. They is in the same grade, same classes, some of them the same classes. They used to be walking holding hands. And one day I saw them sneaking up on the stage in the back. Y'all know where the curtains are. Middle schools, they had curtains in the stage. They used to be back there kissing. I used to be looking like, y'all wild as hell. But it never bothered me. I went on, went on to high school, and the rest was history. But again, once I became an adult, I'm out here in the dating game just like everybody else. Everybody didn't like me. So, and I accepted it. It's just part of it. It's just part of it. Even in, the women that you choose, you just have to be, a bit more careful and go about it. Not everybody's going to like you. It doesn't matter, especially women. Out of 10, you might get 4 of them that say you cute, not handsome. The other one's going to be like, ooh, not my type. And you shouldn't even be worried about that too much because you can go to another 10 and another 10 and another 10. You don't have to keep circling back. Seems like guys be circling back to the same people. Oh, she didn't like me in high school. She slept with my brother and my cousin. Yeah, that's part of the game. She young and slow too. But when you circle back is when you start having the problem. So you get, just keep moving forward. They'll see you when you coming back with your new gear on, shining, got your new ride. They see all that. That's when they'll start pulling up. Hey, big head. Then the ball's in your court. She done already been around the corner and block. Even the guys, they done already been around all your friends and your cousins. But if you choose it, don't come crying when they reveal who they are. You can't do that. You can't do it. Give me 1 second. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Is that Coach Fee with stocking cap? Yeah. Yes, I got the stocking cap to cover up my milk dug head. Yeah, that's ball too. It's just something I picked up, $2. Yep, she ran out on me. Well, she didn't run out on me. Once I broke it out, she just like moved on. We was middle school. Yep, she did. And I think I saw her some years. I think I did see her some years later. She acted like she didn't even know who I was. So I'm like, I know you know who I am. Because we was pretty close and we was all pretty, friends in middle school. So everybody sort of congregated and hung out in classes. It wasn't about, somebody always liking somebody. I went to the dance with her. It was the dance like the next few days. I guess it was when everything started. But after that dance, I'm like, yeah. And she probably felt bad, brother. You right. But I was immune to it. I had sisters because my sister used to cry. She'd be like, what you crying for? They're emotional. But you ask me a 13, 14-year-old, you better get on out of here. I ain't got time for that. So yeah, it's just part of the game, man. It's just part of the game, man. I got a 22-year-old. I'm like, he's telling me like, that probably ain't the same, which I'm sure, women are a little bit more bolder, a little bit more brash. Women today, they reveal a lot before you even get a chance to, I guess, know who they are mentally. You already see what the physical part is. Like then you sort of had to guess. You sort of had to try to figure it out, and you normally wouldn't know until you got up close. and spent time with her. You know, it wasn't something that was just gonna come out, you know, all at once. What's up, brother Alpayne, man? Salute, man. Appreciate you joining it. Now you see the title, Alpayne. You see the title, right?
Yeah, I saw the title, man.
The title, man. I'm glad you're up here, man, because we're gonna fight this out with they ass. We're gonna fight it out, bro.
Yo, man, I was letting you go, man. I was here for a while, man. I said, man, you look good by yourself up there, man.
Yeah, man. I know I look good, man.
So
you know what I'm saying? I know I look good, man. It might hurt a few feelings of them 40 and unders, you know, but hey, I'm sorry. That's the way my daddy and mama put me together. With the grace of God, I've been able to maintain it. But yeah, man, salute. Thank you for coming up, man. Listen, man.
That's cool, man.
I done been talking a lot, man. You see the topic, old knowledge is dead. Yeah, okay. Okay. I think a woman thought of this statement right here. I can't see a brother thinking of it. I think it was a woman.
You think so?
You know, I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know.
You don't
I'm
think
just
that's
saying.
a PMU original? You don't think that's a PMU original?
I don't know, man. Not a father and a coach. No, I don't know, man. Old knowledge is dead.
Well, first of all, so I didn't hear this, but you think it's true?
No, man, I don't think it's true. No. Now, hold on. Okay, let me compartmentalize it. It might be true to 40 and overs, but them 21 to 40s, they need all this information, and they asking for it. So it 40 and over, yeah, they done been slapped around, beat up, tossed up, flipped over 42 times, lost money, got money. So yeah, I can understand it.
All right, well, yeah. Listen, man. You know, I mean, if you're like, you're Gen X. I'm a baby boomer. Do we really care whether these guys care or not? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. I don't know if he was up here when what's my man's name? Shay, brother used to be around a lot. I had asked him, Sway. Little young Sway.
I saw him on This Might Be Risky. I saw him on there.
Yeah, he comes up there. You know, I haven't seen him there as often as before, right?
Yeah.
So he came over here one time when we first had the Boomer show, and I asked him. I said, "Well, you know, what do you want the baby boomers to do?" He said, "I want all y'all to die." That's what he said. That's what he said. I want all y'all to die. You know, so. Listen, man, as long as there's some truths to some things you find out, right? But listen, the world is still run by the OGs.
Yes.
We're starting to see the young people start to come in, but you know what? They're coming in stupid. Like for example, Jasmine Crockett. Can we leave the world to a woman like that? Can we actually leave the world to somebody who talks like that? You know, or Brandon Johnson from Chicago. Can you leave the world to that asshole? I mean, you know, what I'm saying is, you know, it reminds me of like the Batman shit, right? We might not be the OGs they want, but we're the ones they need. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%, Alpayne. I agree with that because you have, I would say, if you look at put a time on it, you have 50 years of adult experience almost, you know, and, you know, and I think that's where they sort of don't understand the connection and the disconnect. And they don't value those experiences because they haven't gotten to those spaces, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of young men and young women today, they not come. I don't know, man, because I look at, you know, parents in my time, men and women, brother, even a lot of my friends had a single parent, but those parents were very respectful of themselves and the children. They didn't put children in harsh, most now. I don't know, you know, everybody go with this. I didn't see a lot of young people being put in compromising situations. I didn't.
Well, you're kind of, I mean, you're right. I mean, listen, even back then, right, the stepdads were respected, right? It was used at different times. So my thing is, you know, I had to come to grips after hearing how so many people up here hate baby boomers, correct? They always say, you know, baby boomers this, baby boomers that. And I used to fight that shit all the time. Then I realized that out of 76 million baby boomers, it's inevitable, but there's a fair amount of them that were fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
even though I disagree that, because that's not my reality of how bad they think we were, I have to admit that there's enough baby boomers who did drop the ball. Right? And they don't have to say all and all that shit, but it's enough to make a difference. Let's just say 25% of the baby boomers were actually as fucked up as everybody says, right? Let's just say 25%. That's a lot of millions of people.
Yeah.
Out of 76 million? Well, isn't that enough to spoil a whole bunch? That's enough to spoil a whole bunch. Right? We say what the things that's wrong with black women, for example. Then we got to say, oh, it's not all. But if a lot of them do a lot of ratchet shit, not all of them, but it's enough to make a difference. That's what we have to start saying. It's like, okay, it's not all, but it's enough to change shit. It's enough to move mountains. So I started to think later on, it's like, okay, everything we might have to say from the old days to now might not translate. And so we got to kind of stay away from giving history lessons for people who don't want to hear them. But you know what? My cousins, all my younger cousins, they keep coming to me. And now they're asking me how to do retirement planning.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They might not want to hear about morality and all that other shit.
Yeah, they ain't trying to hear that.
But they do want to know, how the fuck am I alive?
Yes.
And doing stuff and being able to afford being in New Jersey.
Yep. Because if it's something that they want,
exactly,
then all of a sudden they'll listen. But if they don't want it, they don't want to listen.
And so the point really is, when they start talking to you, now the door is open for other conversations if they lead you that way.
Yeah,
we're gonna have meetings. They're gonna ask me questions. I'm gonna ask them questions. They're gonna tell me a little bit what is going on with their finances, and don't everybody's family kind of branch off of what they do with their money.
Pretty much. That is a good understanding of it. Our pain. That is.
So once these conversations continue to happen throughout my family, I get to know a little bit more about how they were living their lives. And then now that we're talking about it, you're 48 years old, and you're asking me, what you going to do by the time you're 65? Now you're opening the door.
Yes. But see, I think this is the unique thing, right? Just in your example, right? You've been consistent over the years, right? You've been consistent, and
a little bit. Okay.
But still, you've been an example of what they could see. And it has no, it's crazy because when you're young, you know what I'm saying, we don't always listen to the elders, parents, or whatever. But when you don't have that dynamic consistently in the home, and I'll say this, me telling 35-year-olds that they have to do certain things may not resonate as much as if I could talk to someone younger and establish that relationship over time, because a lot of times we caught up on relationships. And if I don't really know you, then what can you teach me? And that's the problem, that sometimes I learned earlier, I can learn from a wino who sleeps outside every day. Because if he's sitting next to me and he's saying, hey, young man, you don't want to get hooked on alcohol. You don't want to be out here on the streets. I'm not going to dismiss what he said. I'm going to be like, you know what? I see the example of what I don't want to be.
Right. Exactly.
And now it's like they people own the past into their future. Instead of using it as stepping stones,
right,
they just own it all the way through life, and they push it back on other people. Life ain't nothing. Grandmama and granddaddy struggled, but they had $40,000 and owned a house that y'all let go for $2,000 in taxes. So yeah, now you ain't got nothing. When granddaddy died, everything was taken care of. So the messaging sometimes gets skewed, because since my adult time, and maybe Generation X dropped the ball, because they told us our pain to get out here, the all you can be, college enrollment increased 300% across the country. Everybody was going to HBCUs everywhere. So what's that? What did he say? What did he say? These bald-headed dudes with do-rag. Yeah, it's wild, hate, because I'm old school. What's up, Antoine? What's up, hate? Thank y'all for coming, man. Salute. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what you just, I mean, okay, I kind of miss a little bit of what you said at the end. But okay, say what you said again, just a little bit. Just you just said something. I missed it.
Oh my God, you know I'm old, I forgot, man.
Gen X. You said something about Gen X. You know, I think we need to start looking at the generations if we're in it, and stop saying we dropped the ball. You know, we lived the life that was around us. We lived the environment that was around us.
Yeah.
And the Gen Xers that are still around are survivors.
Yeah, survivors. Right? We probably the best survivors.
The baby boomers around survivors, man. You know, we're survivors. Yeah. Like, you know, so my family today, from the just one segment of the family, right? From my grandmother on my father's side, grandmother and grandfather, paternal grandparents. Yeah, we're running around 6 deep now, right? From the early 1900s to 2025, we're like 6 deep generations, right? And you can see the disintegration of marriages and more kids being born out of wedlock. And the truth of the matter, and this is still kind of true, but it's not true as it was. The reason why the young ones who have kids out of wedlock, the only reason why those kids ain't in the street and in shelters is because of the family structure we had made from the baby boomers and the Gen Xers.
Okay.
Because who's taking care of those kids, right? And a lot of the young girls are having kids out of wedlock, right? But their grandmothers are still taking care of their kids. Their grandmothers has a house for all of them to move into. You know, that's what happened when I was young. Right? Anybody got wayward, you know, it wasn't as much, but there was an infrastructure.
Yeah, for sure.
That infrastructure is not being built now.
No.
Right? No, so if you're a Gen Alpha or you're a Gen Alpha 1 or whatever that shit is, they're not going to be able to come to millennials and Zs for any kind of anything because they ain't building no infrastructure, right? They're not building that. You know, so
I heard that. Y'all hear that, Gen Z? Listen, man. Yeah, man. Y'all ain't building no infrastructure. Y'all turned the infrastructure down. Even the little bit that we was trying to hold on to, y'all kicking it down. I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all putting it in the drain or down the sewer pipe. But again, we all gonna get here. What's up, Next Level, man? How to get the youth to really receive the good wisdom from the elders? And see, that's the thing. Today, a lot of people don't go into those spaces where they are. When you meet somebody young, you have to meet them where they are. They've been eating garbage all their life. They've been experiencing nonsense. So when you come in with a righteous word, they're only going to listen to you once they can trust you. If they don't trust you, then they won't listen. A lot of people,
that's part one.
Understand. A lot of us point fingers at what they should be doing. No, listen. The Coach Ferg on YouTube with 40 and overs is a totally different Coach Ferg from 15 and 16 and 18-year-olds. Totally different. You won't hear me curse. You don't hear me tell them what they can't do. I just present them with the information. Then I explain why they may need the information. Maybe not today. They may need it 2 or 3, 10 years down the road. But the information must be obtained whether you want to obtain some things or not, because in order for men to get to a better space in life as you mature, you have to obtain certain things. And it's best to get, and those that get it while they're young, those be the ones that prosper. The ones that fight it, continue to try to play the system and think that they can scheme and scam, you can watch their life literally just fade off into the sunset, and they'll always resurface around 38, 39, and they'll start recanting everything except what they did wrong. My mama wasn't there. My daddy wasn't there. My teachers didn't teach me right. My coach didn't coach me right. Instead of saying, you know what? When I had an opportunity, I chose to do something different.
Right.
I messed up. And that's the problem, because now we 30 years into the crack era, and most of the adults in this time are struggling with the basics of life, relationships, work ethic, understanding that life is a journey of a roller coaster. It's up and down. Nobody's gonna be coming out of here with I'll say this, even with the millennial Gen Zs, most of y'all children come from nothing also. But it's how you build it. It's a great opportunity, and I don't know. Those that take advantage.
It's a great divide too, right? If you think about it, there's millennials out there who actually have had an opportunity for better things. Some of them squandered it because they're the kids of the baby boomers, right? They're the kids who lived in a house. A lot of them, not most of them now, but that's when they started to have mostly just single parents, right? But there's a lot of millennials have both their parents.
Yes.
A lot of them. Now, and then when you start making comparisons between how they behave and how they think, and the ones who came from single parent households, you got to really search for some of the differences because of social media and the way people live. You know, like a lot of the people doing stupid shit now.
Yes.
Some of them actually did come from, intact. They just didn't listen. Came from intact houses, right? They had to. BMU was asking you a question in the back. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. Give us about 20 minutes, BMU. We ready by 10:30.
So one of the things that, like you said, people have to. You got to meet people where they're at, but that's at any age. That's true. You got to learn that, and you got to also learn that the saying when the student is ready, the teachers will appear. A lot of people don't. That's true. If people ain't asking you questions about certain things, then maybe they're not ready to get the lesson. So if somebody comes to you and asks you about the past, or ask you how y'all did this back then, or ask you what do you do in this situation, they're opening the door for what you have to say. And sometimes you have to say, listen, you asked me this question, I might not say what you ain't going to hear. But if you really want the answer, this is the answer that I have, right? And then they have to accept it. But the fact that they asked makes all the difference in the world.
Yes.
Right?
And so his grandfather's uncles.
What happened?
I think he's just trying shit. He's just
trying stuff.
Yeah, he's trying shit, man. So that's what it is. I mean, the other thing I had was when my kids got old enough to ask a question, then I thought they were old enough to get some kind of answer to the subject, as opposed to people telling them, some bullshit because you think they're too young to know the answer. Maybe a full answer, yeah, but if they're asking you the question, then something must have triggered that. So tell them something. You don't have to get into all the details, but give them an answer that's worthwhile. And he said, "There's other things to this question that we'll catch up with you when you're a little older. But right now,
yes, But the unique thing about what you're saying is that the adults of our time, they cared about us as a whole too. It wasn't most of them wasn't self-centered. It wasn't about always what they want. I never heard my mother say what I want. I never heard my father say what I want. The only thing I did hear him say, they wanted two things. They want some damn peace and quiet. And that's what they asked for, peace and quiet. They didn't ask for, I got to go get me a new purse, a new bag. And I grew up in a home, we had 2 cars. People thought, I'm like, man, we ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? But like, man, y'all got 2 cars, y'all got this, y'all got that. Man, my parents worked together. And all of her sisters were married. My mother had 6 sisters, no brothers. All of them were married until they left this earth. Some of them are still living. Well into their 80s, husband and wife. And most of those, even all of those, we used to have picnics. And our picnic was 80 to 100 people, just first cousins.
Yeah, it's funny. We're planning one of those. We still have family reunions. I mean, our funerals turn into family reunions, right? And that kind of stuff. And it's still, we do a lot of that. Not as much as we used to, but every time we get together, because families have drama, right? Because we all split up around the country. You got like
Yeah.
the clans have their own personalities now, because all the daughters in the first generation married and took the last names of their husbands, right? So they created different clans that are tied to the Pains, right? So, but when we get together, man, it's always a ball, man. It's always a ball.
Yeah. And
So-
Trump. Hold on, man. We got a $5 cash out, man. Listen, man. Super chat, man. Salute to Anton, man. Chris Rock said it best. If a child is calling the grandmother mommy and the mother by their first name, someone done effed up somewhere. Ooh-wee.
That shit happens a lot.
Yeah, that
too
happens.
much. That shit happens too much. That's funny, man. That's true.
And that was ushered in under my generation, man. We was allowing our kids to be like first name. I'm not a grandmama. Okay, but you let your daughter have a child at 16, 15. Yeah, your ass is a grandmama at 30.
Well,
you know, it is what it is.
Staying on the point, like you're saying, listen, one of the things that I think boomers did wrong, maybe the silent generation, but with the boomers, actually, a lot of them, a lot of us, no, a lot of them, because I don't agree that I fit under this category. There used to be like, I want my kids to have a better life than I had.
Yeah.
Now, see, on the surface, that's not a bad thing to want for your kids. But what it turned into was, I want my kids to have an easier life.
That's what it
And that's where it got bad. That's where it went off the rails.
I agree
right?
with that.
Is that you can give your kid a better life, but that's somehow that got synonymous with they shouldn't have to struggle. That is fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I agree with that.
That's where things got broken.
I agree with that.
That's where things got broken. Something that's subtle. That's subtle because every parent really would like their kids to have a better life. But does that mean take away the struggles? That's how you learn, right? That's when back, in the 90s when they started the no bullying campaigns.
What era was that our pain in the 90s?
Give me the crack era. When they started doing, what's they call it, participation trophies.
Yeah.
Shit like that. We the kids should know what how it feels to lose. Yep. Get the hell out of here. That's what made people, man. Shit, I'm going home crying that you lost and shit. Get out of here. And listen, man, I tell you. That's where, but see, some of that was programming. Because the people who had the reins try to make it, unpopular to be hard on your kids, right? When people started going to jail for kicking their kids' ass, even though the kids deserve it.
Yes.
And when I say that, I mean giving them a spanking became like you can't, the kids had the phone number to the social service number. If you hit me, I'm calling typhus. That kind of shit, right?
But here's the crazy part about that. Everything you're saying, man, I agree with, right? But again, I remember that as a young man when they were ushering in these type of idiotic rules and regulations because they understood, and this is why I appreciate mothers of my time, the single mothers. They held their children accountable when they did dumb stuff.
Right.
Most didn't allow. Well, and again,
there was some, but I know what you're talking. You're in the right place.
It wasn't a lot of mothers that I saw allow sons to just figure shit out. They still had to have some type of structure within their home. They still had chores. They still had to cut grass. They had to earn their keep around the house. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't making excuses on why the kid couldn't read, because I used to see moms making people read out loud in a class. Even the school structure was different because before busing, all your teachers were black. Mm-hmm. And they held you to a high standard. That's when they could really paddle you and call your mama at the same time, and she gonna come up to the school or catch you as soon as you walk in the door. She wasn't cussing out the teacher. She wasn't arguing. She like, oh, he did, because most parents of that time knew their kids. They knew the ones that was wilding out. They just did dismiss it and say it was somebody else's fault. Y'all knew even the people, listen, we all got those cousins who y'all knew wasn't gonna be shit when they was young. Everybody know it.
Right.
They can always get away with stuff. Don't touch my baby, da da da. But also the powers that be understand that too. A child without discipline will grow up to be an adult without discipline. So more than likely, guess what? They'll start getting into trouble as teenagers, and we can start locking them up, and they'll start using drugs, and we can start locking them up, and they'll start having babies early, and we can start locking them up. It's just part of the programming. And those that, I don't know, not everybody wanted to be a part of that.
No.
You know, and those that didn't want to be a part of it don't. I guess some people believe that they need to be recognized for it, but myself, I looked at competition like this because you said something weird, and I'm gonna shut up. As long as I win, place the show, and being competitive with somebody, I was good. What's up, brother Jeff, man? Salute to Uncle Jeff, man, joining us, man. He got the family secret, man. And he's another old head. And damn it, all you young heads, y'all listen up because the old heads are taking over. Salute, man. Thanks for joining us, man. You been listening in, man, or you just joining?
I'm just joining you now. I've been so busy today, but I don't doubt that it was dope content because of the swordsmen who are already here.
What's going on?
Our pain. What's going on, Doc?
All right. What's up? So listen, we had a video we getting ready to see, but listen, what do you think about the topic first, Jeff? You read the topic. Old knowledge is dead. You know, you could read the topic. What do you think?
Old knowledge is dead. We no longer need the OGs. Barbershop talk. Well, I think it's true for who it's true for, and it isn't for who it isn't for. And I tell you, I'll untie that double speak in a second.
Okay.
This is the time we live in, brothers. We really need to. I beat you cats over the head with it a lot. We are the last of the streetlight wisdom. It's us. That's it. Ain't no more after us. There are young brothers who recognize this, who see its importance. I'm looking at my. I'm looking at my. Let me do this. Let's see. Hold on a second. Yeah. Anyway, I looks like I'm coming in a little choppy.
No, you doing all right, man. We here.
Oh, we're looking good. Okay.
Sure.
Brothers, we are not in the time of collecting, or excuse me, recruiting. We are in the time of advising and guiding. We ain't got to prove shit to nobody. You go and try to do it your way. Go and try to do it your way. Let go. Our pain accidentally got to be his age. It was by luck. My blind, clueless luck. Our pain wound up being where he is in his life, and them same damn fools he grew up with that's in the jailhouse and the graveyard. It just luck they over there too. Okay, go ahead, work with that. Let's see where that gets you. I'm not gonna fight them. I speak to the brothers that know that what we have to say is valid. I have no interest in force feeding. You don't force feed your knowledge.
Y'all heard that, young fellas, young women? Listen. The fact that we're in a space now where it's as though the adults who should be building the most and together are fighting the most. And it's not going to be, and like Uncle Jeff said, you ain't got too many years where you going to have brothers like our Pain and Uncle Jeff and myself to sort of give some type of wisdom along the path. We don't have the way, We have a way. I don't think that everything I say is foolproof for anybody to follow, but I do think I have a little sprinkles of something there. My brother Jeff has some sprinkles. Our Pain has some sprinkles. And when you put all of those sprinkles together, you might get you a full dessert plate. But if you dismiss everything that people have been able to do before you, you better damn sure be paving a path that people behind you can see and stand tall in it. If not, you're going to be old to them real soon. We got a question in the chat, man. Anybody want to say? Next Level said, why do most of our people leave the house at 18 and struggle instead of keeping their guidance and failing in a controlled environment? Anybody want to answer that?
It's funny, you know, I mean, of course, I never, with my kids, they stayed here. Once they got out of college, they came back home. I had girls, right? And, you know, my preference was they wouldn't leave me unless they were married, right? But, you know, I mean, you can't control that, right? They're going to have somebody to get married to. So my oldest daughter stayed here until she was 29. And it's made all the difference in her life, man. You know, so because now that she's out there, she still comes over here just about every other weekend with whatever excuse to be around the house, you know, and stay here. And my youngest is here. You know, she graduated out of college. Instead of getting apartments and trying to get out there, she's here. They when they were here, they lived under my rules, you know, and they willingly did that. And it's made it's made a lot of difference, especially financially for them. But we can, it's two ways. A lot of kids are anxious to get out, and a lot of parents are anxious to kick their kids out at 18 and 19. And I think that's a mistake, especially today, especially if they still need your guidance and control. If you got room in your house, I would encourage them to stay in the house, depending on what kind of peace they bring in the house, you know, or if they disrupt it. So what he's saying is true. A lot of kids, yeah, you come of age as 18, and like me, I left my house at 18. But back in my day, you went to college. I was college bound, or you got a job at 18 and you began your life, right? Because you could get drafted and shit like that. But the times were definitely different then, where it was more conducive to you if you had a good job, where your money stretched further and you had a good head on your shoulders. You still needed the guidance, but a lot of people did that. But that's not true today. You throwing 18-year-olds out in the street today with it's Lord of the Flies.
With the emotional state, it's difficult. Brother Jeff, what you got to say, man?
I say again that, as usual, I'm gonna blame some of this on Whitey. That this is a systematic a ploy against our people, in that again, it's an ideal that the European white man set up for his family to chase. It makes sense for his son to leave the house at 18. You set up the world to be his oyster. You don't have to tell your son, your daughter, the things I have to tell my son, my daughter. This land of mediocrity that you set up for your own people that is now coming back to bite you in the ass. You set that up for them. So I didn't get to tell my people what Armenians tell their people, what Guyanese people tell their people. We're the only ones doing this. Families of other ethnicities. I know a dude that I get out with professionally. We do some other work together. Dude is a Sikh. He makes $500,000 a year. You know where he lives? With his mother.
Yeah.
He lives with his parents because he's not married. This is some mess that we done got into, that life is forcing us out of. Nature is correcting itself. This correction is being made by all that is natural. people gonna naturally have to get back together. How else you gonna live? Look at all these people just got laid off.
Absolutely, man.
You don't have a choice.
Absolutely. So, hey, okay, I don't know if you finished, Jeff, because we're gonna hit the video.
Yeah. I'll pay before you play the video. I'm gonna read the super chat from Anton, man, then go right into it, man.
Okay.
One thing I always remind my nieces and nephews: I have been your age. None of y'all have been 49. That's true. And by the time you turn 49, I'll still be older. That's a fact.
It's a fact. All right, so let's see what this video has to say.
Grandfathers, uncles, they were not better providers than men are today. They just lived in a time where life was a lot easier. And I'm going to break this down because I hate to see people comparing the two without giving context. So for context, in 1990, the average mortgage payment in America was $650. Today, the average monthly mortgage payment is $2,500. That's almost a 4x. The average rent price in America in 1990, it was $370. The average rent price today is $2,000. That's a 5x. The average home price in 1990 was $120,000. The average home price today is $420,000. That's 3.5 times more. The average car payment with insurance in 1990 was $230. The average car payment with insurance today is $730. That's a 3x. Meanwhile, the average income in 1990 was $30,000. Today, the average income is $55,000. That's not even a 2x. It hasn't even the average income hasn't even doubled, and that's in 35 years. In 1990, on average, people were paid $2,500 a month. Today, the average person gets around $4,200 a month. So once again, that number hasn't even doubled. The average minimum wage in 1990 was $4. The average minimum wage today is $7.25. Once again, it hasn't doubled. So comparing somebody today to somebody in the past is like comparing to someone playing a video game on Hall of Fame to somebody that's playing the game on easy mode with the sliders up. So there's really no comparison, but people, they really lack understanding of this basic thing. And I know a lot of people, they're going to say, well, they just need to leave their jobs, find better jobs, and make more money. And I agree with that largely. I do think people need to up their skill sets so they could be better and bigger earners. At the same time, people say those things without understanding how the economy and how ecosystems work. These jobs that people down talk and consider low wages, these jobs are what makes the country go round. How you get your food, the clothes that's on your back, the building you live in, the people that's teaching your kids, the cars we driving. All these things are ran and functioned by people that don't make a lot of money. So if these people quit and left these careers and chase to make more money, the whole economy in the world would shut down immediately. So we need people in these positions in career fields, which is why it never makes sense to me when I see people down talk people that actually do these jobs. They make the world go round.
All right.
Man, listen.
Go ahead.
Salute to the cracker, man. Listen, man. All of this automated stuff that they got out here today, the garbage truck don't even have to have a garbage man on the back. They got an arm to lift up the garbage cans today. What are we talking about? I made $3.35 an hour working a full-time job, $130 a week. I think after taxes, I don't know, but it was $500 a month at best, working 8 hours a day, and still had to take care of my responsibilities. It wasn't for me to go ask my mom and daddy for no money. I had to take care of myself.
Come on.
And today, listen, it's definitely easier today because y'all can choose whether or not y'all want to work a certain job. Back in the day, most people didn't have a choice.
But what do you think about it? What do you think about him making the money comparison? Because what you're saying is true.
But don't they have to think about inflation? Inflation, of course, is something they don't even speak of. It's changed. It's high. Yes, it's more expensive. It's inflation. So
but he's saying the job, right? He said that the wages, no matter what job you had, didn't follow inflation, right? But I hear what you're saying. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, man. Finish. the same.
No, man, listen, man. People, listen. The average income, and I'll just state it, man. I put something in the back chat. I'll pay. You can pull it up if you want, man. But listen, man.
Yeah.
The average income, man, of 19. Let me see. The average income in 2000 was roughly around 38,000. The average income today is about the same. The bottom 50% of America make $34,000 a year.
Okay.
And people of that time, my parents both made $35,000 a year at the height of their working career.
Okay.
That was it. And we was able to buy a home, like I said, 2 cars. We had all the new video stuff. Everybody ate good every day. We had washer and dryer. We had lawnmowers. We had everything we needed because the parents didn't look at their income as individual income. They put it together. Now everybody's looking at it like, oh, it's an individual thing. I make my money. But what about the house money? Parents didn't walk around spending $1,000, $300, $400 on themselves every time they got paid. They made sure the house was taken care of, the kids were clothed and bathed, and they put children to work. I'm sure all of y'all, by the time y'all was teenagers, y'all was walking around shoveling snow, cutting grass, trying to earn your own money. So, yeah, the mindset is a little bit more, I would say, just weaker, just to.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. So what he said though was the thing that he left out was even back then when $30,000, $40,000 would get you further. Back then, way what he's talking about, and just like what you said, both the women still worked. They still shared the one pot system. The money went to the house and the family. And today, there's no such, I guess, no real partnership that way because somehow the powers that be told women that their life ain't no good unless a man's taking care of you. And as horrible as it sounds, too many of them still believe that. So too many of them believe that. More and more, they believe that a household means a guy works and they get to do what the hell they want to do with their money, or else you're going 50-50, right? That's all propaganda engagementship, right? I mean, because in the past, all I remember is both of my uncles, aunts, parents working. Even though the money might have stretched further, but everybody worked. There still was only a very few families, when I say few, less than 50%, where one breadwinner took care of everything. The women still went out to work, even if they didn't have to. A lot of people were out there. So today, yeah, it can a $100,000 house. Is it the same as trying to buy a $500,000 house with less? No, it's harder. But if you ain't working together, just like what Uncle Jeff said, the world is going to force people to get back together. And how they do that is going to matter. If you get back together just for this, I guess, partnership where there's nothing in it other than just trying to survive together, I don't think those bonds are going to be tight enough to stick together. There's got to be something more than that. Partnership plus. In my case, and I guess all of us who are married, we call it a covenant. So I don't know, man. So yeah, so I hear what the guy said, but go ahead, Jeff, man. Go ahead and give us what you think about what he said, because I hear what he's saying, but I think he left a couple of things out that could make the difference.
I think the biggest thing left out, in my opinion, is although inflation has risen, when is the last time that you heard of, or when in our lifetime did we hear of teenagers being millionaires from their bedrooms? This economy, there are the way to make a lot of money has changed.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way to get along in the middle without anything particularly discernible about how you handle your business is gone. If you don't have a particular set of desired skills, it's a wrap for you, regardless to your color, which sadly is what black women and black men, frankly, who think this way are. This is what's on their mind. Y'all chasing the farts of white people. This nuclear family shit, they can't even do it anymore. What are you doing? What are we really talking about here? We're at the end of an empire, and everybody wants to talk like we're not. Yeah, this shit's up. This shit's over. This shit. Look around. Look at the car. Look at the car industry. The car industry is decimated.
They're great bust now.
Brother, nobody's buying these cars, not only because they ain't shit, nobody's got any money. Anybody smart enough to afford these cars, smart enough not to buy them. That's where you are. There's the concept of family, of monogamy, ain't none of that shit working for us no more. None of it. And nobody, we just gonna act like it's 1988. Oh, okay. But it really isn't. It really isn't. We're in a society now, and really this does kind of get back on closer to the point. We're in a society now where you're not going to be able to, the math says, you guys have heard me say this, the math says that monogamy is over. If you want a black man, unless he really signs on for it, it's every one woman, black woman, that marries a black man, and the two of you enter into holy matrimony under the guise of monogamy, you're sentencing 15 other black women to a life with no man, mathematically. And nobody wants to discuss that math. We somehow get around it, and I don't understand it. And this isn't an indictment of the brothers here. This is because somebody tell me why we don't discuss. We never discuss that.
Well, we discuss it, but who needs to really discuss that? The women have to come to grips with that, don't they?
Our pain, brother. Ooh-wee.
They gotta
you
come
just hit the nail on the head. There's no crisis for us. It's for them.
Yep.
And they talk like they got all the latitude in the world. And I don't see it.
Yeah. It's funny though, Jeff, what you said, if you're not finished, you just notice I started to say this, right? And I used to think that only really, really handsome men can say this, but I say this a lot to where I'm on these panels. I say, guys, I don't know why you're fretting so much, especially over women. I said, beautiful women are a dime a dozen.
Bruh.
They're a dime a dozen. Beautiful women are absolutely a dime a dozen. A man on his square is not. It's not. If you know what I'm saying? And so the point really is we let them flip that shit so much, and you hear them talk all over the social media. There's nothing different. You could be as pretty as hell. And the reason why I'm with you can't be just because you're pretty. If I can pull you, I can pull another one.
That's true. That's true, man.
So I don't know, man. But the women have a lot to come to grips with. But how do you get and it's not up to us to get them there. I don't know.
Right.
It's not okay. Thank you. It's not up to us to get them there.
Yeah, I don't think we're in a position, but also I don't think the reason why I think we're not in a position because younger guys are understanding what they're up against.
Yes.
And this is the thing that I think women are underestimating about those brothers, because they're finding their purpose in who they are. Even if they don't understand their true purpose, they understand who they are a little bit earlier now. They're not going to go through there's no more Q Sweat songs. Those days are over. There's no more. Not going to get the love songs, and because these guys are understanding what they're up against. And the fact that a lot of women are going to, I'll say, get buried on the cross, because now that they can make money through transactions, they're not going to go back. They can make money in their relationships with men. They're not going to go back. And I think we do have to sort of identify those men who sort of move that way. Let me say this super chat from Anton, man. Back then, couples were dream makers. Yep. Now, unfortunately, a good number of them are either dream fakers or dream takers. Ooh-wee. Couples. I don't think they don't even want to be a couple no more. They want to add a twist of the lemon in there at some point. So, and yeah, I agree with that. Here's the thing: it wasn't necessarily your parents had to be the one to motivate you. It was always somebody in the neighborhood, somebody at the school, somebody in the community that could give you the words of wisdom and the motivation that you needed to, hey, I need better. But today, it's like people are owning trauma. They own other people's trauma. Even though they didn't experience it, but that's the way people are. My aunties now, well, you should have learned that your aunties now were doing too much and move opposite. What happened to that reverse psych? Y'all remember the reverse psychology method? When somebody can tell you can't do something and you prove them wrong and you can do it. Or vice versa. They don't go about that no more. You tell them they can't do something now. Oh, now you're judging me, you're blaming. No. Sometimes you have to be willing to walk in the path that you say. We have to be willing to do it. And it takes courage. It's going to be, I guess, a little nerve-wracking because you're doing something new. And I think brothers are taking advantage of it. I really think the women are underestimating brothers, because in 4 years, they're going to be a lot older and wiser. And a lot of these women, unfortunately, are going to be still moving the same way.
Yeah, and they're going to be 4 years old. Kristen Cure did a thing on Claudia Jordan, if you ever heard of her before, right? Mm-hmm. She was on a podcast, and the point that Crimson was making, and of course, the only way she could make it is that here's a woman who thinks she's very successful. She has money. She has everything. And her point was that, women need men, right? She said, women need men. So he said, here's Claudia Jordan on this podcast saying she's tired of doing all the shit that she's doing. She's tired of being out there by herself. She's tired of this. And instead of saying she wants but she still says she wants her man who, even if he has an illness, right? Somebody to come in, right? And still she was intimating that he should take care of her, a multimillionaire woman, right? As opposed to saying she should be with this guy. But the real point is, after all the shit that she spent her 52 years talking about, or her adult years talking about how they don't need men and all that, all the accolades, all the degrees, all that shit, in the end, she still needs a man. And now she's like a dried up prune. She's still pretty, but what do you have to offer this guy? Right? Because now she's willing to give in to a guy to be with, now that she's used all the best. I don't know if she has any children or not. I didn't really look that up. Maybe she doesn't. But there's a lot more women coming out there, like the Tracy Ellis Ross, who go on these rants saying how she's happy being by herself. But she's on the internet thirst trapping like she's not.
It's almost like she's trying to prove it to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what they do. They try to prove it.
I just tell them, listen, anyway, but still, we don't have to make it about that. But the point really is, you're right, Jeff. I mean, a lot of the old ways are gone, but the new way that's going to come up, there's got to be a meeting of the minds. How do we get to that critical mass where women start to say, okay, shit, you know what? This guy's handsome. He got all the shit that I need. I can't really mind that he has other women in his orbit. As long as I'm not disrespected. I mean, I would love to hear the women say, I would love to hear women start to say that shit, man.
Just live long enough, bro. They're already
starting, yeah.
It's already done. This is already, there's dudes. And like I've said before, I think a man should be with as many women as he can be honest with. The minute you got to lie, you got too many women.
That's right.
Okay. But this is a natural course correction that is happening. This natural greed that all these religious publications speak of has come to its end at this 4th century mark. A bunch of publications point to now. This is a course correction. This democracy, this thing we tried to hold up, it was all societal. All of it. A gang of it not based in any fact with the creator. And it's all crumbling and tumbling down. And when it does, we're going to get back to where we're supposed to be. The capable men are going to get together to survive. And the women that will be with them will be obedient because that's the only way they can be saved. Not affable, not compliant, not pleasant, not classy. Got to be all that too. But agreeable. Obedient, rather. Obedient. When we say that there's a curfew, there's a curfew. That's everybody. When we say that we have this much to do this, we sat down and we came up with this. And ladies, you will be allowed to work in your strengths. But all this hyena shit, that'll be on the other side of the gate. Because there won't be one man here that's going to put up with it. Not for you or from you. And you do what you want to do with that. And by process of elimination, brother, they'll drop that shit. When the consequences of it are the cold prairie, where the whole town vote on whether your ass get to stay, bruh, we gonna get there. We gonna get there, and these horrible broads are going to weed themselves out. Nature's gonna weed them out.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Jeff, because the one thing you're talking about is the nature of women is to survive. So they'll start to, even the ones who talk all this F shit that they're talking, they understand that the only reason why they're talking that way is because it's not, they can. But when that dries up and they can't anymore, then of course they'll comply because they're gonna want to survive.
It's drying up fast. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get out the way. Okay. It's drying up so fast, bro, because and what black women ain't looking at is when this shit get tough, every other race of woman got their man. Where you hyenas going?
That's true.
Every woman that talks shit about men got their man. Yes, Persian women talk shit. Chinese women talk shit. And Korean women and so on and so forth. But whose men are fleeing a continent to get away from them before they'll even give them a chance? Ours.
Yeah.
So, listen, man, we in for a great big overhaul out there soon, man. Hopefully, I don't live through it. Hopefully,
you don't live through it. It's here.
Well, I don't know, man. It looks real gray out there for a lot, man. But salute to Anton, man. The best way to describe why females are frustrated with being alone. They rather be right over being happy. Y'all agree with that? I believe that's most black people. Most black people want to be right. Most of us want to be right, whether it's good or bad, right or wrong. They want to be right.
I would change that a little bit, you know, that, but especially for black women or women in general, but black women in particular. Being happy is the only righteousness they understand. They live by affirmation. They live by feeling happy, whether it's right or wrong. Right. So as long as they can be, you know, happy in a space, even if it's an effed up space, that's what they accept. That's what they accept. You know, I mean, if dysfunctional families, dysfunctional kids, dysfunctional, but as long as I can flex, as long as I can I'm feeling good. That's why they're all upset over the Sydney Sweeney Act and stupid shit like that. That's why they all vote Democrat, because that's where the affirmations lie. That's where the support is. That's where where they're comfortable, because they get placated with and all that other kind of stuff. So,
could you tell me what the Sydney Sweeney Act is?
No, ad. It's the ad about the woman with the jeans and shit. The woman I got good jeans. Yeah. You never saw that? You didn't see that ad?
You didn't see that ad?
No.
A little white girl came out with blue jeans, and she she did the double entendre. You know, her name is Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, she got on some Levi's.
She's blonde, you know, she's blonde with blue eyes, and she says, my jeans are blue. And then they flash her eyes. Then the ad says Sydney Sweeney has good jeans, right? So it's like, you know, jeans meaning denim jeans.
Okay, yeah.
But she's a white girl.
They taking it on as their jeans.
So it's a good
being
commercial.
black.
It's a funny commercial. If I had it, I'd throw it up there real quick.
Well, and I mean, we can have a conversation about it. With regard to genetics, that we know that blue eyes.
Before you go on that one, hold that right there. Blue eyes. Is this a new one?
No, I read that already.
Okay,
I read that. I just read that.
I'm sorry. Blue eyes.
I mean, yeah, you were talking about
genes, genetics.
Her having good genes. Are we aware that blue eyes is a direct result of inbreeding? Look it up now.
I've heard that before. It's a mutation.
It's a mutation.
Brother Jeff, you giving knowledge right there. A lot of people don't even connect that. They don't connect. They don't want to hear that truth.
Right. That it's also a blue eyes and blonde hair come from recessive genes.
Yes.
That let's discuss good. What do you mean by good? what and actually ask that question and leave it there.
Or just leave it there, right? You know, yeah, you're right. Ask that question and leave it there. But I think if you saw that ad, you know, you would say, okay, they're just playing on words to market jeans, because American Eagle is a jeans company, so they're just doing that to market the jeans. And some people get triggered by it. Some people, and you'd be amazed how many white women are triggered, liberal women are triggered by that ad. The sisters are, but it's amazing how many white liberal women are triggered by that ad. Talking about eugenics and, you know, Nazis and shit like that. It's just crazy, man. It's part of the decay of society, man.
Well, are we going dance around the fact that that is the exact description of what Hitler said he would make a master race of? That's a fact.
Yeah.
So it's not it's not something to just I am not willing to poo-poo it off either. I see that. You know what I'm saying? I see that angle in it. So I can't.
But that angle is hiding in plain sight, right? Because Hitler was also exterminating people at the same time he was pushing that. Right? It's just not going on right now, right? I mean, but I hear what you're saying. But that's how a lot of people are taking exactly what you're saying. Enough people are saying it because it was. I'm surprised you haven't heard about it. But it was all over social media.
Well, not going on right now, It's not an argument for it because
Not
there was a time before it wasn't going on when it did go on.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, it does make sense. I'm just thinking that I just, as far as for me, it's just an ad. It's an ad with a double entendre, and I can see why it triggers some people. But that's exactly what they wanted to do, so they can sell jeans.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. That's all I made. And the Korean people, the way they handle it, they put this Korean girl out there, beautiful. She had some yellow jeans. She said the same ad. She says, "My jeans are yellow." And she's got yellow denim, and she's eating Chinese food with chopsticks. And she's absolutely gorgeous, you know. You know, so, and then some other people. So I mean, I don't know, but I hear what you're saying, but what you're saying is exactly how a lot of people took it. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, you know, so we got some time. We got like 20 minutes.
I don't think they looking into it as in depth as Brother Jeff is. I think most people just looking at it as an excuse to claim racism and all of these things just based off they inferiority complexes. Man, listen, as men, I don't think we can afford to only focus our achievements on each other. We have to sort of look at the world as our playground in a sense. You have to. Growing up where I grew up, I often wondered what it would be like to live somewhere else. And when I got a chance to start moving around the country, I realized that I must be able to compete against men from everywhere of all walks of life. I'll learn more through, I guess, the system that we're under. I learned the laws of the land, you know, good, bad, and indifferent of it. And I've always wanted to make sure that I was relevant, whether it come to work, sports, things like that. I wanted to always be competitive within that cycle. Did I always win? No. Did I always lose? No. Did I learn something out of the wins and losses? Yes. And I don't think people appreciate those losses, especially when you're still trying to learn and grow. That's a part of the game, because I don't think our pain would have went anywhere with guys younger than him. He had knowledge, he had skills, he was going to display that. I don't think Brother Jeff would have just rolled over with some of you cracker adults out there thinking y'all can come in and take over based off y'all feelings and lack of knowledge and skill. So you have to learn as you go. Life is a journey. It's not a sprint. You have to learn as you go. And when you miss certain tools that you need in your 20s, and you get to 40 and 36 and 38, and you're trying to figure out why you can't elevate to the next level, you may have to go back and get those pieces and those tools that you need to add to what you have. That may be the missing ingredient. And a lot of times, to me, and I've been saying this, you know, it may even take for you to go back and talk to that parent you never really had a connection with. You know, but again, not everybody's willing to face a lot of the ugly about their life. The sooner you face it, I think the better off you'll be, the sooner you'll grow, and you'll start looking outside of the box instead of always looking at the box and saying there's no way out. You know, as long as you keep, you know, your head focused on the right thing, and not be afraid to take knowledge and information from people you don't know. I don't have to know you to take good information. I come up here, I listen to brothers like Arpain and Jeff, and I may not need it today, but I can always recall and say, you know what, Arpain said something a couple of months ago. Brother Jeff said something a couple of months ago. And even if I don't need it, I can say, hey, man, I know his brother, Uncle Jeff, and Arpain. They told me this. They said A, B, C, D. Won't you try it? Whether it works or not, it's always a part of the tool belt. And that's the way I've looked at it. That's the way I've sort of modeled coaching and mentoring. Like, it's a process. You don't have all the answers at any point in life. I don't know what it's like to be 65. Yeah, but I got a good example I can take from our pain. I don't know what it's like to be 60. But I don't know, man. This is a gray area in life for a lot of us, or in our lifetime. We never seen anything like this in our society. It's like the powers that be understand that masculinity must come back to the front to save our future going forward. And those that take advantage of it will be okay. Those that continue to cry, hold your hands out. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. I know Uncle Jeff ain't gonna give you nothing because he already said it. If you ain't submitting to the order of the land, you can't even get in the gate. Our pain, like the hell with you. You got to work harder on your own like he did. And I have a sentiment of both of them. Your ass gonna work if you gonna get in this gate. You gonna put in the work before I even think about it. And it ain't gonna just be up to me. It's gonna be up to the collective. And if they don't vote your ass in, guess what? You better find you a little hut and you better be quiet while you're building because you could be left to the scavengers out there. So it's a gray area, man.
Well, we'll see, man. You know, the future's we do see the one thing that is true that Jeff is saying, the one thing that's undeniable that we see the decay right in front of us. I mean, it's right there, you know.
And what's so funny, bro, is I've been coming up here long enough. I've been coming up here a while. Y'all might even remember this when people used to look at me as Dr. Doom and Gloom when I was talking about this shit 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago. That this shit is and now everybody, you know, it was like Showtime at the Apollo in this piece when they was talking shit about the way I was talking about it. Now it's quiet as a church. You don't hear nobody talking about how crazy the crazy people were about America falling apart and about this. This is a grand course correction for us. We have to see it that way. It's a course correction. It's going to happen.
Good. No, you know, it's funny. Did you see people are upset over something about this group of whites bought some land out in the Ozarks? It's a whites-only property, right? That they grew up. That they're building a community out there for whites only. And then I found out down in the South, 19 black families got together and they bought some land out in the South, and they're doing the exact same thing. But the only thing is that their mantra is like, we're not, you know, making it exclusive like black people do, but it's 19 black families. They want to build a community of black families, and some liberal women in there will probably let some white person sneak in there, but the white guys out there in the Ozarks, it's just white, it's whites only. I mean, and it's not there, but the point is people are starting to enclave, you know, and we're more used to seeing whites trying to build those enclaves, but there's some black people doing it too, you know, and the black people need to be just as strict on who they keep out as the other guys.
Come on, bro.
You know, it's as simple as that. Why would you get 19 black families together just to be a pro-integrationalist? You know, just make the community bigger and have rules that if you want to get in there, even if you're a black family, you still got to follow these rules.
Yes.
And that's the key, right? These rules. And so one of the things that could make these things work is that if you're taking federal money, that's where they get you. If you're taking any taxpayers' money to make some of this stuff happen, that's where they get you, because then that's discrimination. But if it's all private money, you can make a case that, you know, I want to build this the way I want to build it, and this whole integration shit don't apply because I'm not taking taxpayers' money.
Yeah,
you know, so it's happening. So you know, it's happening. It's, maybe, you know, maybe one of those people heard your thing. Maybe the black people heard you, Jeff, say this, man. We built our own enclave. Because the truth, whether we see the decay the way you see it, Jeff, whether we believe it or not, you still should have your 9. You should still have your circle. You should still have your circle.
I don't know. Okay, slow down. Slow down. I need you to tell me. It could be because y'all know I smoke the best and I'm at the bottom. It could be this shit I smoke, but I think this was one of the panels where some young fools tried to ridicule me for the concept of having 9 capable black men. Does anybody remember that? Was it here? I am sure of it. That it wasn't that I'm not sure that it was here, but I am sure it happened. And it happened a few times. And I want to know how stupid I sound now.
No, because so again, man, this is nature's way of telling us it's time to hit the reset.
Absolutely.
And this is where we are. The reset button. Yes.
Thanks for these super chats, man.
Yes, for sure.
The network appreciates it.
Yeah, good looking out, Antoine, and you dead ass on.
Yeah, and it's not just something that I think is going to happen immediately. I can see a change over the next 4 years, especially for a lot of brothers. I could see that, especially the adult brothers. You know, the brothers who are looking for a way, looking for their purpose. I think if they really got focused on something greater than just what the women are saying and doing, and start looking at the world as an opportunity, I think they'll be okay. I really do. I see it because as a man growing up in America, I understand, and you have to be willing to take advantage of opportunities when it presents itself to you. You have to be willing to. We all have a unique story, and we went through that experience. So I don't know, man. Brothers, listen, man. Get out your feelings. I'm not saying nobody here, but brothers, listen. Get out your feelings, first of all. Save your feelings for mama and daddy. Go talk to daddy. Figure out if him and mama were really sleeping together in the back of the club or if they had a relationship. You'll find out the truth. He gonna tell you the truth. And stop looking at everything in your world as that's the way it's going to be. This is what you're in right now, but you still got to put in the work so you can overcome that. And you may not get that light bulb or get that bag that y'all chase until you're ready for it. The numbers are still the same. The game is still the same. Just old new players. The new players, it seems like you're not as equipped emotionally to handle it. So, again, man, you got to put in your work, man. And just remember, man, these places that people are creating, I guarantee it's the old heads who's running it. I guarantee it. Young guys and women, y'all don't get along too well too long. Everybody wants to be the chief and no Indians. You have to have somebody that can bring order and give directions and stay cool and calm under pressure, like the engineer and the Marine over here. They're going to give you your orders of operation. And if you're not willing to follow, you might be excommunicated. So prepare yourself. What we got? We got about 20 minutes left, man.
A little less.
Yeah, a little less than 20. I can say about 15 minutes, man. Listen, man, like I said, I always get something from, being around you guys, listening to you guys, man. Uncle Jeff, I'm giving you some pushback, man. Listen, man, I'm a coach, man, and a counselor and a mentor, man. I hope it ain't over for them, man. I hope it ain't, man. Hopefully they can listen to a little bit of stuff that I say, man, and and maybe they can come to your village if I prepare them. Maybe they can come to your sector and get in and be a part of the growth of the village. But
absolutely, but all children, to include my own, to include my line, my village will be those who think like me and understand that the black family absolutely must be destroyed. That it means us no good. Your problems come from your family, not your tribe. The Bible says a friend sticks closer than a brother. It's because you pick your friends. You didn't pick your brother. Your mama didn't even pick your brother. Your mama and your daddy got together, did the nasty, rolled the genetic dice, and Tink Tink came out. That's where your brother come from. You didn't pick him. He's family. Now, you and your friends who have similar interests, who have similar goals, who agree on so much and work hard in the same direction, those are members of your tribe. And those members are more than likely, in collective wisdom, not going to make bad decisions about women, children, family. They're humans. They're going to make the mistakes. But they're going to set their goals at a certain mark. And Brother Ferg will be setting his tribe at a mark. At the tribe, I set my mark. So when Brother Ferg send me somebody, Brother Ferg's name is on the line here for you. You understand, young man, who vouched for you? He's one of the elders of the tribe that you came here from. You have very big shoes to fill. And we are here to see to it, because his brothers spoke to my brothers. And you will be amongst brothers with love, but you will be amongst brothers with discipline and order. We will love you, and you will fall in line, or you will find your ass out in the cold prairie. Do you understand? Welcome. And that's exactly what I was saying to any young man. Find out what that young man's weaknesses were and fortify him without ridiculing. Find out what his strengths are and push those. Outside of sports, I know everybody here can run and jump and throw. I don't need to see that. How do you think? What do you feel? Where's your mind? What do you want to build? To everyone I say, math is a language, and we will look at it as such. We will stop running from it. It belongs to you. It is the universal language. You want to talk to God, learn about math. You don't believe God loves math, cut open an orange. Math is the language of the universe. That math is God's language. Math is how you unlock everything. We're going to look at math different. We love basketball, but it takes a distant seat to what comes from each and every one of your minds and souls. Mm-hmm. You've been taught to chase, to bounce a little orange ball on some wood and put it through a hole 10 feet off the ground, and that was very important. I'm not going to diminish its fun, but unless you're in Brother Ice Cube's league, we're going to diminish its importance. That's the only league of basketball we really watch, is Ice Cube's league, until we make another one. That is where I would be with my people. And you can't tell me that if I put our Payne in charge of math and engineering, that he can't find the 4-year-old geniuses. Mm-hmm. And we push them over there. And the incredible singers this way. And the incredible blank towards the other incredible blank amongst us. And we raise them. Brother, how fast is the foolishness weeded out?
Quick, fast,
that is the new rise. That's the new rise. That's the utopia I'm betting on, bro. Because I don't see it going no other way.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I do. You know, it's funny that you mentioned math. My girls were young, man. The two things I had in my mind for them growing up. One, you'll learn how to read as soon as you could, and you won't be afraid of math.
Yes.
You will not be afraid of math. You had too many women say, "Oh, I can't. I'm afraid of math." Nah. You know, my youngest, man, that's the one thing I made sure that they didn't have they know how to count money, and they know how to count mathematics, and they understand the language of it. So that's cool.
This is why the Asians and Indians are so far ahead of us.
Yes.
I think it's absolutely social that they are pushed in those directions.
Yeah.
Because
it is, Brother Joe.
nobody tells our children that 2 + 2 = 4 in language means nothing in Chinese. That means nothing in Tagalog, in Mandarin, in Spanish. But this is universal. How many fingers I got up? Because the language to represent this is this number, a plus sign, and this number, and this sign. That means that this side of it and this side of it are the same.
Right.
That's a language. Nobody, dude, I never heard anybody say that to me when I was little. Nobody talks to our children.
There you go, man.
Yeah, that's funny that you also, I mean, you hit all the shit I remember. I used to make sure my kids did word problems.
Bruh.
When you heard the word, this is equal to that, or this is that, make the equation of what this word problem is. It's you're right, though. It's a universal language, man. What's on the right side and what's on the left side, all that kind of stuff, man. But hey, listen, it's just one of those things. Can we get back to that? But you got to get back to that in the right environment. The only thing I take credit for with my kids was, and I probably could take more credit, but the number one thing I wanted to do was create an environment for them to thrive in.
Sure.
Let me create this environment for them to be able to thrive. Someplace with a roof over their head, a place to study, lighting to read and all that kind of shit, with no TVs in their room. That was one of my, I didn't have a million rules, but that was one of them.
You grew them as plants.
Yeah.
And nurtured them and watered them. Yeah.
So it sounds like both of y'all coming from a old head way of knowledge. It sounds like that old head way really worked.
Brother. It's the only thing that's gonna work. It's going to. I was talking to my son about this. I have to pour as much wisdom in their heads before I die as I possibly can, in the interest of my great-great-grandchildren. How does my grandson, I don't have any yet, but how does my grandson justify not knowing Black history? He doesn't. Because I am going to see to it that his parents teach him the way I taught them. There's no gray area in that. Now, look at the inverse of this, Coach Bird. Look at y'all grandbabies offhand.
I don't have any yet.
Oh, yes, but when you do,
yeah,
they're going to be under the shit that you teach. What is these kids, these ratchet ass kids, babies, gonna be?
Yeah.
What they gonna? Their parents already can't read.
Yeah, it's frightening, man.
Already done fucked up the English language. Give that 2 generations, bro.
No.
With no state mandatory education.
Yeah, because that's coming.
No, it's here.
Yeah, that's coming.
Bruh.
It's frightening. It's frightening. It's frightening for sure.
So what you are going to have, what I am seeing in the next 50 years is a part of our society that survives outside of the skills we're talking about. Out of that French fry grease I keep talking about, will come savages. Straight fucking savages. Because nothing else, and I'm not talking about ostracizing criminals. It's some criminals, some of the most ingenious niggas in the world. What's going to happen is only those that have both the power and the righteousness are gonna live. I really believe that, man. I really. You're gonna have to have both of them, and everything else is gonna go. It's gonna go the way.
Yeah, we're on final thoughts now, Jeff. Ben, you want to say something else, or why don't we go around? Who wants to go first?
Hold on, let me preference you old ass dudes, right? Y'all got 1 minute. Say your final thoughts. Just to the old dudes on the panel.
Go ahead, Jeff. We're gonna leave you for the last. Go ahead, Jeff, man. What's your final
Okay.
thoughts?
Okay, man. Well, number one, in closing, in speaking, I want y'all to go to zeroframestudios.com and get a jar of the Family Secret shea butter. I can't do. Oh, there's one. Hold on a minute. There's one right here. Today was a very big mail order day. Can't see that.
Yeah, that's not coming through with your
Put it in front of your face, brother. Put it in front of your face. It'll show.
How's that?
Yeah, it'll show.
Okay, well, that's this one is China Musk. Made of the best ingredients. I know you're gonna put it on your black babies. It's all natural as an expiration date. Bet $20.
So I can just put. Why don't you put a link?
I told you y'all old dudes talk too much, man.
Just put a link in the back chat there, man. Yeah, let me.
Okay.
So we gotta move on. Yeah, listen, man. It was a good show, Ferg, man. I know you was front and center. This. It was good listening to you, man. That's why I didn't pop up earlier. I wanted you to get everything all warmed up. But like I said, before, I have faith in whoever I have to have faith in, who's coming towards me to want to ask questions. I have more of my family members starting to call me for the things that I can help them with, and at least it gives me some purpose to help them. So when they get to my age, I can, if I'm still around or not, and most likely I plan to be around for some of this stuff, that they could say, hey, listen, at least I learned something from an elder that made my retirement a little bit easier. So I got more and more people doing that. So I'm trying to get some more of the fellas to do it in the family, and I think that's coming too. So that's it, Ferg. You got 2 minutes.
Hey, man, so listen, man, appreciate y'all coming out, man, especially Brother Jeff, man, Brother iPain, man. Salute to everybody that's stuck around with us in the chat, man. Thank y'all for coming out. The Black Man Unfiltered Network, man. Old knowledge is dead. We no longer need the OGs. Y'all asses better pay attention, because y'all gonna need the OGs. And if you over 40, your asses are OG too. So, hey, man, let's continue to move the needle forward, man. I know we're going to be in the fight to the end, man. Thank y'all for coming out, man. See y'all next time, man, on the Barbershop. And guess what, iPain? We out, brother.
We out. All right. Later on, fellas.